Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to our weekly stock market update video. This is an analysis on the overall market, S&P 500, QQ, Bitcoin, as well as the Max 7s. And with a lot of geopolitical tension going on in the market potentially looking to range break as well. And we have a lot to talk about this week. And let's head right into the data before we get into the technical charts. And we're looking over at sector data, sentiment data, dark pools, and economic data, and Fed watch tools. And if you guys just want to skip over to the technical charts, just go ahead and click the timestamps. All right, for in terms of sector wise, not much of a rotation week, right? You can see SPY, most of the sector are red. That's why SPY is a little bit weaker than Tech QQ this week. Tech held itself, XLK, pretty flat on the week, but you can see even the second largest sector is in the red. And now energy sector has been skyrocketing. So now it's actually become the third largest sector in terms of market cap at the moment. Just went over XLV, healthcare. Healthcare used to be the second largest. So market does not like that because it signals inflation. And of course, we've been seeing oil spiking pretty darn hard because of the geopolitical tension, and market hates that. So at the moment, not a great look for the market overall, and SPY looking to potentially break its range and trading in that range for 6-7 months. So we're cautious of that. We'll take a look in this chart in a second. And I see some data, right? So I talked about this last week because the job data came in on Friday and the sentiment data comes in on Wednesday. I was saying that potentially the following week might be a lot more bearish participants because of that, which reflects the previous Friday's sentiment, and we got this on the Wednesday as well. So overall, the high 40s and mid 50s used in the past could be a good buy the dip opportunity, but at the moment, personally, I'm not buying the dip because of the we haven't even broken the range on the market. So technically speaking, you could play the range trade on the bottom of the range and play for the bounce, but at the moment, there's just too much going on in the overall for me to be personally buying for that. I'm waiting for more for clarity where the range is breaks. If it breaks without follow through, right? Let's say it breaks here, Qs breaks down, no follow through, bounce back. Okay, that may be a potential buy the dip, or versus we get some kind of clarity. Things resolve themselves and we have more of an upside where we get actual follow through on some of the other names. Right now, we're not getting follow through on both directions, which makes sense, which reflects the market being very choppy. So it's not a great time to be trading, in my opinion. All right, in terms of dark pools, so this is one of the most important names in the entire market, SMH, right? It's this entire semiconductor sector, which has been fueling the market. And we just got our number one largest print this week. So, and the biggest name in SMH is Nvidia. So if Nvidia decides to break its range, right? We've been looking at this upper channel for, since September. So for half a year, right? Previous resistance. Now I can support. So if this breaks, right, that dark pool from that number one SMH largest print is going to be a bearish dark pool. But for now, it's still holding. So I don't think, personally, I don't think somebody decides to go long here. That's just my opinion, but who knows, right? Could have said the same thing over here for number 8 largest print, right? Somebody decides to go long, here, up here. It doesn't really make sense, but he's up like what, 20 something percent. Let's see, 3, yeah, something like that. So you never know, but for me, I don't think this would be a long personally, based on historical datas, right? You can see number 5, number 9 came in and we went lower. Number 10 came in, but we went a little bit lower, but actually, bounced really hard. So this one could have been a long. This one, 2 and 4, could have been also a potential long. When you got in here, we did go head higher, but then we resolved, ended up lower. But number 1 comes in here. So it actually came in on the 10th, just a couple of days ago over here. So we're currently below it, but not by much. So we'll have to see if the Qs start breaking this range. This will actually likely resolve itself, especially Nvidia, right? Keep on watching this range. If it decides to break through here and it starts breaking all these pivots all at once, right when we bear break from here, that's a recipe for back testing the prior all-time highs for sure. We're definitely gonna back test this all-time high if we start breaking these pivots, and that would definitely flush the SMH quite a bit, because Nvidia is going to drag down the semiconductor sector. Semiconductor sector is dragging down all the semiconductor stocks, and they will all fall together with the Qs. All right, another dark pool is SPY M, which is a derivative of SPY, and we got the second largest print here. Technically, you can argue this could potentially just be a short covering, and from all these prints above us, right? Number one print, number 5, 7, 9, 8 here, 4, 2 was all up here, so it could be a short covering. It doesn't have to be a sell, right? It could be covering from the shorts, just like taking profit here. But if this starts breaking the range, right? If it starts breaking this low, the 650, where we've been trading range trade here for a long time, obviously here and here as well. This is the first range it broke already, so now this is the second ping pong range, and this is the overall the bigger ping pong range. So if this starts breaking here, then to me that could be a sell, because there's a good chance we may come back lower, even potentially back test prior all-time highs, which the market really likes to do in the long run, around 613. But of course, we still have this structure above us that will act as support right here, before we even test that 613 area. That being said, it still needs to break 650, right? If it comes down here, we've got to bounce. Let's see, it's like we haven't even dropped that much, right? It's just like a 3% bounce would negate that whole thing. So we're only down by like 5% in the market, which is not that much, right? We haven't even gotten a 10% correction, which is pretty common every year. So yeah, so honestly, market hasn't really. That's why I'm not really buying the dip, even with that AI sentiment data, right? This is just a 5% move. It's not like we broke the range here and we dropped 10% and finally hit major support, and the sentiment data is in the 40s. And okay, that's a good chance to start buying the dip for a longer term swing, back up to higher levels. But for now, yeah, we haven't broken the range for the Qs yet either. I haven't broken this level for, yeah, so let's go back to the dark pool. Yeah, so this could be just a short covering for me. But if we start resolving lower, then this could potentially become a add, right? Let's say someone shorted up here and they added the short down here for follow through on the downside when it breaks more. So keep a watch on this as well. We'll see how market resolves itself next week. And in terms of earnings, no huge market movers at the moment for me. There's Micron, which is semiconductor sector. For any of these, just take a screenshot. All right, let's take a look at economic data for next week. So no huge economic data for next week other than PPI, and we have the FOMC rate decision. This is the actual meeting with the rate decision, not just the minutes. And job data wise, delivered Thursday, and I don't know why he's speaking on the Saturday for again, but in terms of rate cut or rate hold, it's going to be a 98% rate hold all the way to December actually. So this shifted a lot. We were looking to get a potential rate cut, first rate cut around September, but this shifted because of the geopolitical tension and oil rising and inflation, and kind of like a stagflation environment now. So not a great look for the market. Market is not like that. All right, let's get into the charts. So for me, right, we talked about it just earlier. Not really much to say other than just a clear daily downtrend, right? Ever since we made a downtrend here, not much follow through every time we drop, but still making lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, kind of like a channel resistance here. And at the same time, we have just been ping ponging for 6 months. For me, if you're a bear, I'm looking to see if it can even test this 651 over here. If I was a bull, I want to see this hold or kind of like a break, stop everyone in their grandma out, and then bounce. Is what bulls will be looking for, actually. Yeah. So that's what I'll be looking for if I'm looking to buy the dip. This breaks slightly, make a big lower wick, and then it actually closes above this support during the day, for the day, that would be a signal for me. Potential this break and stop everyone out and then potentially bounce. So we'll have to see how it resolves next week. So that would happen if it happens on the Qs. So if the Qs come down here, right, we have a support around 590 and also this red trend line here, it's just more of a longer term trend line, prior resistance, all-time high resistance against support, and potentially it can act as support here. So what I want to see here is, let's say Qs drop again, gets that break right into this structure, makes it lower wick, bounces, that would create this scenario for a SPY where it breaks without follow through. Right, this Q's range is more kind of clear. We're trading this range for 6 months or 7, but let's see if this does happen. And for bears, of course, you don't want the break no follow through. You want the break and it makes another lower high, lower low again, continuation of the downtrend. That would be what you guys want to see. And ideally, you guys get a break and into this structure, and then it kind of like holds and it makes it a lower high here. All right, let's take a look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, a little bit of much better look than the market, right? Relative strength, relative weakness prior week, not kind of slightly relative strength, but not out of the woods at the moment. I did say that last week the shorter term bulls are slightly winning because of the uptrend we have on the daily, higher lows and higher highs, right? Higher low being set, higher low being set, higher low, higher low, higher low. Things that we're not getting much offense. The bulls are playing defense, but not much of offense. If we can't even clear 74, which is literally ticking the lows of right here, this structure, and this prior high. We can't get over the 74. We're not even going to come up to test this structure here. If we can clear 74, there's a good chance we may start coming up closer near to the 79 here and 80 zone. Right, you can see this prior resistance right here, 79, 80 zone is triple top. It's pretty much rejecting from this structure here. 74 is like literally like ticked here, so we can't even get over here. Right, bulls aren't even gonna actually test the actual structure here. So, and longer in the picture, this is still a bear flag. Right, 74. You need to click 74 to negate that bear flag too on the weekly. Can't get over this box. 0.382 is still a bear flag. So, all right, let's look at Tesla. So Tesla here, not great luck. Talked about saying it should try to break a pivot, but because we did actually break above this pivot around this 408 zone right here, but because we made a lower low here, this didn't really count. So still in, technically speaking, daily downtrend, lower low. You could argue this is now in a neutral trend because we broke this pivot, but for me, it's just very clear, right? You can see it without even me drawing a trend line here. Yeah, I was pretty much reject. So, and we're on the verge of breaking this 385. So bulls have been playing a lot of defense on this 385 because they know if this breaks, there's no price action between here and here. So there's no real support or volume between this gap and this gap. It'll just be an easy flush back to this 350 zone if they let that flush through. So, but bears are, been knocking the door on it. So the more times they knock the door on that liquidity level, the less liquidity there is to defend here. And at some point, all the buyer liquidity will run out there, and it will trigger a break. And everybody that also bought here will become a seller because their stops gets hit at the same time, and that will create that huge flush to the 350 zone. For this to happen, the Qs have to break its range as well, right? If Qs break his range, that would trigger that kind of like the whole market sell-off, and it would exacerbate because Tesla's own technical charts has this stop loss break that would trigger that. So cautious of that. See if it happens. All right, so meta here. Slight bear break on this huge tiny range, but overall for me, if it doesn't break this pivot, it's not a bear break, right? It could You can still argue this is a tiny range because it's a higher low. Still at the moment, but if I start breaking here, that's a follow through on this bear break here for me, support and resistance. So keep on watch on that. If it bounces here, okay, this is still a tiny range for me. But if it starts following through, break this pivot, then that's a bear break for me. All right, Amazon. So it's not much going on here for Amazon. Instead, Amazon is famous for its range trade. It likes to range for years and then breaks out. Well, not years, sometimes years. But see range here, and it also range. I think it was like 2021 or something. Range for like a whole year. So my case here is it'll likely range here for a while until market decides its direction, and it will follow the markets. But for now, market is still ranging. So, all right, Microsoft. So not a great look still, but bull's last hope here is potential inverse head and shoulders here over here to see if it can get a bounce. Right, this break on the February 26th here is kind of like a bear break, no follow through. Right, you can see it held right here, which is this structure is high, held, bounce, bear break into it, lacking follow through, bounced. So now we're back testing again this high. So if this holds here, it will become inverse head and shoulders and confirm a clear daily uptrend for me, potentially back up. Kind of like fill this void where there's not much volume back into like 434 level. But for now, still not a great look at the moment. Bears are definitely still in control for a longer term picture and short term, right? We dropped like 52%. This is all the bounce we got. So not a great look. And Google wise, still holding okay. Still holding this trend line. Prior resistance, resistance, resistance. I think support, support, and it's currently holding a support and support. But looking on the reverse break, overall, right? This we've been up for like millions a month, and we only retraced 23%. So if we come back to 270, still gonna be a healthy bull flag. So longer term bulls are still in control, and a little bit of consolidation on the monthly wouldn't be surprising for me. If we come down to 270 and chop around there a little bit. All right, let's look at Apple. So Apple's still trading in our tiny range. All right, resistance, 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 support, support, support. Now right on it, support again. Resistance, 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 resistance. So it's a pretty clear tiny range. If it doesn't bounce here, then that's a bear break for me on the tiny range. If it starts breaking this pivot here, it's 243 here. So we bounce here. Okay, continue to tighten up for me. Break here, then I'm looking down closer to 334, and this 331 zone here. So yeah, Max 7 is looking not that great, pretty weak. We talked about that a couple weeks ago because of their dark pool datas on the Max 7s, and yeah, you can see right, tons of dark pool datas on the Max here, Max 7s, and we've been resolving lower for now. Versus the Qs is still holding it roughly around here, this level, and the Max is below where the Qs are holding, so a little bit weaker. So yeah, Nvidia. So last one here is pretty much still holding by sliver, right? You can see how many times bulls have been playing this defense. We talked about earlier, this trend line, prior resistance, all-time high, prior all-time high. Now against support, support, support. So similar idea to what do you call it? What was that name? I forgot. Oh, Tesla. So there's gonna be a ton of support here when it breaks because of how close all these pivot is. Right, we have 7 bounces on this trend line at the same time. So if this trend line breaks, it will likely trigger stops on all these pivots too if we flush through it. I just measured here. Yeah, it's within like 1 to 3%. So breaks, a good chance we're gonna backtest this prior all-time high. So be cautious of that with the SMH dark pool as well. Number 1 largest print. If this start broke bear, you will want to be really cautious and see if you backtest this 150 zone. That might potentially be a good buy the dip, the back test here, and then bounce with the market if the market resolve itself. All right, that's it all for you guys. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. I do this every weekend. I'll do the commodities update tomorrow, where I do the natural gas, oil, US dollar, and have a great rest of you guys' weekend. Take care.